Today in the morning edition, a critical deadline for Alaska schools as the governor has just a few hours to veto the education bill or let it become law. What's at stake for students?
Former President Joe Biden has an aggressive form of prostate cancer. I'm Naomi Ruckham with a closer look at the diagnosis and reaction to the news.
And later, from story time to STEM prizes, how the Anchorage Public Library is making reading fun all season long and how you can get involved as the morning edition starts now. Good Monday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. A little bit rainy out there.
Yeah, depending on where we are across the state, we're still holding on to either some cloud coverage or, of course, some rain showers. And that's what we're really seeing for parts of the interior this morning, where we're also going to see slightly cooler conditions from the weekend. And that's all thanks to the rain that continues to build into parts of the interior. Here across South Central, we are waking up to some light drizzle activity for the first part of the morning. Those temperatures, they are holding in the mid-40s, right at 44 degrees with winds out of the south at 7 miles per hour. And you can see across the rest of South Central, we've got those temperatures anywhere from the mid-30s to the 40s, and we are seeing some localized areas of some rain from Talkeetna out towards eastern parts of Prince William Sound. Largely expecting a good portion of South Central to stay on the dry side today, but we'll still see that potential for some drizzle, if not a stray shower. And you can see that the spotty to isolated activity that we are dealing with this morning, heavier as you head to the north into the interior, and we've even seen some thunderstorm activity through the evening hours overnight into this morning. We're going to be watching for that potential for additional rounds of some thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon as we get up under that peak daytime heating. Of course, one thing that will work against that will be that cloud coverage as well as cooler conditions we'll see for the interior. Now, here in Anchorage and South Central, we'll see the possibility for some sunshine breaks, largely expecting mostly cloudy skies to stay with us. And while we can't rule out a drizzle or stray shower, we are going to see many areas staying on the dry side for your Monday. But coming up in my full forecast, we're still chasing our first 60-degree day here in South Central, or at least the Anchorage Bowl. And there is a decent opportunity this weekend that we will hit it. Of course, we're also watching some thunderstorm activity looking possible in the interior the next couple of days, with May as a whole shaping up to be a wet one for a good portion of the state. I'll have more on that and when we can expect to see our best chance of rain here in South Central coming up in my full forecast.
We begin with Capitol coverage. Today is the deadline for Governor Mike Dunleavy to act on House Bill 57, which proposes a $700 increase per student to the BSA for public schools. The governor faces three choices. He can sign it, veto it, or allow it to become law without his signature. The bill emerged after Dunleavy vetoed a previous $1,000 per student increase, stating it lacked necessary education policy reforms. The current proposal also faces similar criticisms from the governor, who has expressed a desire for policy changes alongside funding increases. School districts across the state are watching closely as the decision will impact budgets and staffing for the upcoming school year. A new report raises concerns about the impact on increased oil drilling in western Alaska, specifically in the National Petroleum Reserve. The area was protected under a Biden-era rule blocking development, but that rule has faced rollback efforts since the Trump administration. Now, scientists are sounding the alarm over near-threatened birds like the yellow-billed loon, a species that nests in the region and is highly sensitive to disturbance, and the need to help protect caribou in the region. That need that land to grow herds as their numbers have been in decline for years.
So hydrologic effects from the winter ice road building, even if during the breeding season, the winter roads are by definition, it's not breeding season. The winter roads have a lingering effect or a long-term effect throughout the course of the spring that can affect the loons settling on the lakes, and it can affect the water level, lead to drastic water changes that might cause flooding of the nest.
Studies have shown is that caribou are interfered with by human activity and development from being able to make those big movements. And so the concern is that as development moves into currently undeveloped areas, that could potentially affect the ability of caribou to migrate, to use their landscape, to have their calves and raise them up.
During a recap of President Trump's first 100 days, the White House press secretary pointed to the end of the Biden-era policy as a key move, saying the administration is focused on restoring American energy dominance.
President Trump ended Joe Biden's reckless war on American energy and fossil fuels and has restored American energy dominance. And Secretary Wright, Secretary Doug Burgum are working hard on that effort every single day.
Increasing oil drilling in the region has been a top priority for President Trump and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, who released a statement saying in part, quote, "For far too long, the federal government has created too many barriers to capitalize on the state's energy potential." To read Secretary Burgum's full statement and the complete report from the Wilderness Society on how increased drilling could affect yellow-billed loons and other shorebirds, visit our website or download our mobile app. The House of Representatives passed a joint resolution urging Congress to honor its commitment to the state. The resolution calls for Alaska to receive 90% of all bonuses, royalties, and rentals from oil and gas production in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and the National Petroleum Reserve. SJR 19 highlights lost income from projects like Willow and the National Petroleum Reserve, where Alaska sees little return in its general fund. The Fairbanks Tourism Bureau says March visitor numbers are down from last year.
We've heard so much, and it has far exceeded our expectations. This is just the most beautiful place.
Some summer travelers have already arrived in Fairbanks, but many more aren't coming. Hotels and tour companies are seeing lower bookings than usual, raising concerns for an industry that supports over 7,500 jobs in the Fairbanks North Star borough. In March, airport traffic, rail travel, hotel stays, and visits to the Morris Thompson Cultural Center were all down compared to last year. Leaders with Explore Fairbanks say the slowdown likely has multiple causes, though it's too early to pinpoint one.
Whether it be, federal layoffs, you've got international tensions, whether it be with our neighbors to Canada or other countries that provide visitors. You've got the tariffs. You've got a lot of economic uncertainty. So there's a lot of data out there that's showing, within like domestic travelers, people are being a little more cautious about how much money they're spending on traveling just because there's that economic uncertainty out there, right?
That uncertainty, experts say, is making many domestic travelers think twice about vacation spending. He says the cruise industry looks strong this season, with early bookings pointing to a potential record year. But how much those passengers spend in the interior won't be known until later. The Alaska Native Science and Engineering Program says its Summer Acceleration Academy is canceled after a major grant was terminated unexpectedly. The 5-week program has served students statewide for over 15 years, bringing them to UAA's campus. ANSEP says all other summer programs will continue, and students still eligible next year are guaranteed a spot in 2026. More firefighters are on the job in Anchorage this morning after last week's graduation. Let's take a look at all the sights and sounds from the ceremony.
There we go! Left, base. Present. Colors.
You will touch the lives of people in small but profound ways.
They are best prepared to be able to respond quickly and effectively and mitigate any problem that we're up against.
Over the course of the next 18 weeks, we go from strangers shaking hands and trying to remember names to quite literally trusting each other to run through a burning building together. Class 2501 was tested mentally, physically, and emotionally.
I mean, it took me 2 tries to get in, and I know some people that took 5 tries to get in.
Alex will be pinned by his wife, Brooke. Probationary firefighter Alex is assigned to Captain Dustin Rowling, downtown Lake House on day shift. He'll report to duty Friday, May 3rd.
You are now part of the proud tradition of the Anchorage Fire Department, a group built on courage, compassion, and unwavering dedication in service to the people of our community.
Rules, regulations, values.
Rules, regulations, values.
Governing the department.
Governing the department.
I will obey the lawful orders.
I will obey the lawful orders
and directions of my supervisors.
and directions of my supervisors.
Meanwhile, the Anchorage Fire Department and Firefighters Union held an open house Saturday. It was a chance for kids to try junior firefighter drills and learn safety tips. Visitors practiced hands-only CPR, saw a Jaws of Life demo, and enjoyed bounce houses, face painting, and free snacks. Joey Casey, an engineer paramedic with AFD, said these open houses are a great way to connect with the community.
It's just a good community event, something that we can put on and just invite the community into our home and show you what we do.
The open house is an annual event and free for all. Coming up, they're setting the gold standard through decades of determination from athletes who've raced every single year since the very first Gold Nugget Triathlon to a new champion who crushed the course in under an hour. See the women who continue to inspire generations.
Limited sunshine potential this week across South Central. We'll keep with some showery weather. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast. But first, sunrise, 5:01 in Anchorage, 4:22 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
More than 1,600 women filled the streets of Northeast Anchorage Sunday for the Gold Nugget Triathlon, swimming, biking, running, and walking their way through Alaska's biggest spring race. Participants came from 17 states, 1 U.S. territory, and Canada to compete in what's now the largest all-women triathlon in the country. And inspiring them all, an 87-year-old who's completed the race 32 times and says she still loves watching first-timers cross the line.
A friend of mine, her daughter did it last year, who's 15, and so she didn't know how to swim and she didn't know how to bike. So this year, she learned how to swim, she learned how to bike, and hits her first triathlon this year. Ellen is her name. You know, so it just really empowers women to try things.
Millie was one of 6 athletes this year who've raced in the Gold Nugget Triathlon more than 30 times. Even more remarkable, 2 of them have never missed a year, competing every single race since it began 41 years ago. And this year's winner made history of her own, crossing the finish line in just 59 minutes and 54 seconds. Wow, Millie at almost 90 years old, Aaron, running that triathlon still.
I mean, congratulations to all of them. And we did see some peaks of sunshine through the weekend. It was certainly a nice one with those temperatures in the 50s. We did manage to stay largely dry, although we did see some showery weather Saturday. And we're still waking up this morning to a chance that we could hold on to some of those lingering spotty activity to start off the day. 44 in Anchorage, 42 degrees in Fairbanks. We've got those temperatures along the slope sitting in the lower 20s, and we're also holding on to some areas of some snowfall as you head out towards the Beaufort Seacoast. And there's into the interior where we're still holding on to some scattered to periodic rain showers. This coming off from that thunderstorm activity that we did see yesterday evening, and that's going to keep temperatures slightly cooler today. We managed to warm into the mid to upper 60s through the weekend for parts of the interior. The warmest Fairbanks did hit was about 66 degrees. Today, though, we're going to shave off about 5 to 10 degrees for the interior. We're going to continue to see cloud coverage as well as some rain that's going to stick around through a good portion of the day. And we'll also see that potential that we could hold on to some thunderstorm activity later this afternoon into the evening hours. While we can't rule out a few spot showers for South Central, largely on the dry side today as we welcome in Tuesday, we will see a better shot for some rain showers building into parts of South Central. That will carry us into our Wednesday as well, with the potential that we could see some gusty conditions developing from Tuesday on into Wednesday. So we'll be watching for that here over the next couple of days. But for today, we're largely expecting to see some dry conditions for most of South Central. Into the interior, you can see Fairbanks. That scattered potential for rain stays with us throughout the day. We'll see those clouds steadily thickening up, and those temperatures likely will stay in the mid to upper 50s throughout the remainder of today. And then we warm back in the 60s here over the next couple of days. That chance for showers continues into Tuesday. We could still see some isolated activity through the middle to the end of the work week, but largely expecting some drier conditions with a return to some sunshine in the forecast. So we'll see a high of 58 in Fairbanks today, 52 in McGrath, upper 20s along the slope where we could still hold on to some light snow showers, about a 1 to 2 inches to be expected for areas east of Prudhoe Bay, 41 in Nome, out towards the Aleutians, still holding on to fairly quiet weather, although out towards Adak, we will see some rain arriving into the evening, and we're still holding on to some of that heavier activity in terms of rainfall out towards southern parts parts of the Panhandle. Looking ahead through the close of the month of May, we're going to continue to see slightly cooler weather taking hold for both south central as well as southeast. This is largely due to our cloud coverage as well as that unsettled weather that has been with us for most of the month. And with that being the case, we'll easily see daily highs potentially staying in the mid-50s for the time being. We're watching those chance for some showers the next couple of days. And of course, those breezy conditions could arrive by Wednesday. We're going to be talking about those winds steadily increasing tomorrow with some of the strongest winds expected Wednesday, where we could see winds of about 30 to 40 miles per hour expected. Limited sunshine this week, but notice by week's end on into the weekend, this will bring our best chance we've seen so far this season, where temperatures will warm near 60, if not into the lower 60s. So far, Kristen, the warmest we've been here in Anchorage is 58 degrees, which we did hit about a week ago, but we have that decent shot this weekend.
All right, slowly warming up. Thanks, Aaron. The Fairbanks North Star Borough Mayor has named Discovery Peak Charter School 6th grader Aaliyah Gray as Student of the Month. Gray earned the honor for her academic achievement, leadership, and volunteer efforts and says she's proud of everything she's accomplished so far.
It means a lot to me to be the first Student of the Month, especially by the mayor. And it just really makes me happy because I've gotten a lot of achievements over the years. It makes me super happy to get this many achievements at this age.
Gray says her goal is to help people who need care the most, especially the elderly. May is the month for our annual May No Child Go Hungry campaign, a partnership between KTVF, KXDF, and KFXF to support the Fairbanks Community Food Bank. 40% of those served are children, and the need only grows during summer. You can learn how to help by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting our website. The campaign runs through the end of May. A new movement is brewing across Alaska, and it's called Tap Into Change. It seeks to loosen some restrictions at breweries, especially around live performances. Beers with that name are popping up at craft breweries from Anchorage to Fairbanks. The Brewers Guild of Alaska says the campaign raises funds for legislative advocacy and could help make breweries more vibrant community spaces.
Right now, the focus of that is to remove some of the red tape that's associated with hosting live events. For those with these manufacturer retail licenses, they can do up to 4 a year with the Title IV rewrite that went into effect in January of 2024. Right now, the process is pretty burdensome to make those live events happen, so we're trying to make that just a little bit easier for our members.
There are 16 breweries in the state taking part in the Tap Into Change movement.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's News Source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's News Source app.